for attending our Access RUMERTIME Conversations show. This is a post helping the helper to help immersion experience we had here in Trinidad, in Macoya, Trinidad on December 16th.
Yes.
And let's talk about, I'm Dr. Laria. If you can introduce yourselves. Let's just quickly go and say your names and, okay?
Sure. I'm Patricia Graham, Christian counselor.
I'm Veronica. I'm a nurse, vascular surgery, pediatrics, and med surg, and prevalence.
I'm Catherine Lucas, Business Development Director, GC School from Trinidad.
Lynette Noel from UTT, and also from the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Teacher Educators, Trinidad and Tobago.
Rosemary Wilson, Human HR with GC Score.
Oh. Yes, he's looking at the mouth.
My name's Kendall. I'm a bookkeeper with my dad and strategic business analyst.
All right. Well, welcome and thank you for coming and thank you for attending the session we had today. So let's hear, first of all, what were your expectations when you came? What were your expectations when you came to the workshop?
Yeah, should I go?
Yeah.
Well, it's entitled Helping the Helper.
Mm-hmm.
So I assumed that I would have been given tools in order to help me, self-awareness, just the relevant tools in terms of allowing me to dig deep and see what matters to me the most in order for me to help that other person and bring to surface what matters to them the most.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Anybody else? We don't have to go in order, just...
I think when I looked at the title and so I said, this is something, the dealing with help, and because of who I am, helping is always something that I gravitate to, right? So I saw an opportunity for help. To help whom, I'm not too sure whether it was to help me or to help me to help others, but anyway, that was a good thing. So that is what I came expecting. I also came expecting that I would be given some strategies to be able to do so, and some support, with the strategies, depending on whether these strategies would have affected me in a particular kind of way, So the support to really balance that off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those were my expectations. I wouldn't talk about the other part because I imagine you would ask us about whether the expectations were met, so I wouldn't go there.
Well, thank you, Ms.
I wouldn't go there just yet.
Yes. Anybody else?
My thinking was, this is the Christmas season, and this is the time of year that we typically give and receive gifts. And so I saw this as an opportunity to give a gift, support, as you said, to individuals who are in the profession who typically don't receive the gift of support. And the knowledge that people recognize that they do good work, and to allow them to have skills so that they could look in the mirror, so to speak, see themselves, become comfortable with what they're seeing so that they could be better helpers.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my expectation coming in, having seen the program and been part of the program before, that the audience would get it,
Mm-hmm.
that they would understand where it is we're coming from, and that they will dig deep and see exactly who they are and be able to translate that back into the community that they come from.
Yeah.
I was hoping that they would see so much in themselves that they would be blown away, and look forward to the next 5 sessions.
Good. Kendall, you have anything?
As
What were
far
your
as expectations,
expectations?
I don't know, to be honest.
You're
Yeah.
not-
I just knew that it was going to be positive, like a positive environment, just from when we talked, like you were showing me it yesterday. I just knew it was going to be positive, so I wanted to be here.
Okay. And so, thank you. Okay. And so, do you all have any takeaways? What are the things that? What are the moments? What are the aha moments that you experienced today?
Well, that aha moment, I'll certainly let me say one of them, and because I'm sure people have others. When you were talking about the dice game, right, and what one would represent in tunes, and I made the connection with Bronfenbrenner's theory of social
Ecological systems theory.
Right.
Yes.
So I said, okay, right. And I said, well, right, this is cool. This is really very cool.
Uh-huh.
Because I had just, maybe about 2 weeks ago, a colleague and I had worked on a proposal that we had sent for a conference that's taking place and for an article to the journal as well. And we had to do a lot of that. So I said, okay, right, this is making good sense to me. And the thing about it, because I'm visual, so when things connect, oh, I'm good. I'm really very, very good. I can put the dots and I see the one that do the S and all those different things were really just getting to me, you know. And I shared with Catherine the whole idea about this, you know. It was something that was even beyond my expectations, and I was really happy. I was really excited. I think that's my thing. I was excited to be here. I told everybody that I was going to this thing. I wasn't too sure, but I'm going to this thing and right, you know. So of course, don't disturb me.
I'll be at this thing.
Right, I'm going to be at this thing. Now, because I know Catherine a long time, you go back since school days, and so I know, okay, right. I mean, it's going to be something good, right, and fine. And I came and really, I was really allowed to go in, deep in. I didn't realize I had not gone in that way for a long time, or maybe never, I suppose, you know. But I went in and I was also allowed comfortably and safely come back out. So what came out, like when I shared the story, you know, I didn't realize that I was really kind of thinking that way and all of that. But because of the process, because of how it was done, there was a logical, sequential, happy in a strange way, because we were dealing with stuff that we probably would not have been too associated. But there was a joy coming out, right? And relieved. Yes, well, okay, all right. I'm in a safe, comfortable environment. And you didn't even think twice really about doing it, fall asleep, to share it on paper and then to share it with him. You know, there was something about the facilitator. Yes, we're going to go there. We're going to go there. We need to go there. We need to go there.
Oh my goodness.
Because I have been to many development sessions on all kinds of things. But one, this dealt with the affective. It's a very hard thing to assess, to have people speak to, you know. When we talk about the affective domain and in teacher education, you know, that's a tough one. So there was that. But the way you managed it, the way you got us, you know, calm but encouraging way. And you know, you thank people for allowing themselves to be, you know, to share and all of that, and people felt okay. You know, Father was here, you know, and it was such a thing. you know, and I saw so many young people. Well, they all many of them younger than I am anyway, you know. So,
Younger than we are.
than we are, yes, Catherine, my darling, yes. You know, so there was all of that. And your co-presenters and co-facilitators who made things happen for you, for the I had never heard about GC scored before, never did. I was wondering what this thing was. I didn't think, but I was there was something about it. This is gonna be good. Yeah, you know, and I have not been disappointed, and also I have been enlightened, and I have been light. Right, there's that lightening up that you know, and you never know how much you're on your shoulder until these things, right? So I also see opportunities being presented me to really work with others, share with others. And I'm also saying, I mentioned it to Catherine, and I'm sure she mentioned to you that it is a program that we should think of getting the universities involved. We would have this psychology department and everything else and all of that and everything else. But I'm saying you need to speak to them, let's hear. Because what went on here today, you know, and I'm not a very easy nut to crack. No, I mean, and I was just really in it, and not only I saw, you know, it was just that thing. I was sharing with the woman who came in late. I know her because we went to the same training college, and so and there was that whole bit of sharing, you know, sharing how you help her. She's coming late, how she's not seeing well. How do you help her? So that whole there was so much. I mean, I have spoken a lot, so I'm going to stop now. But really, thanks so much for you and your team, right? And all who made this, and all who came here to be part of it, because I think it was good.
It was.
Yes. So yes.
Thank you.
Yes. You're welcome.
The strategies was well put together. Everything was done so well to where you felt easy and not pressured about answering no questions or doing anything and opening yourself up, because sometimes they can put things to where you don't want to open up because the way it's put together. The strategy is not all that good. Everything was very calm and smooth. And my moment of aha was, even though I'm a helper and I know that you have to do self-care and you have to always take care of yourself, the helper most of the time don't do that. You spend more time helping to where you neglect yourself. So what I found myself is today is saying, I ain't been doing enough self-help, self-care. You know what I'm saying? I do, and then I have friends that tell me, well, did you eat? Or what are you doing about this? I'm like, oh, I gotta, So this just reminded me just to do more self-care. And to know that the helper needs to be helped too. And this was a good time to release and to let go. And I was just surprised when I shared. I didn't even think, it was not even a clue that I would have cried. It was not even, it wasn't even part of my thinking. But I think because of everything that I endured today with the stretch and everything, it was easy to come out, and it probably was needed. And then it, you know, and then there's little things that's been reminding me about it. So it's just time, like somebody else said, and it was just, I'm glad that it happened at this moment to where people was around me, and I was able to get the comfort and the love back and the support instead of being by myself.
You know, and just going off of what they were saying, what stood out to me and what was my aha moment, I only have one, is that we have more similarities than differences. You know, so if I can feel this way and you're feeling the same way and you're feeling the same way, oh boy, we need this. So we were able as strangers to come together and bond, and it's like even leaving, it's like, wow, it has people that, you know, they experience the same thing that I do, and that within itself is a support for me.
Well, wonderful.
I was thrilled, and my aha moment be like Oprah.
Ah.
Was how you led the group with, once you recognize, then how does this show up in your emotions? How is it showing up in your emotions, your mindset? And how do you recognize this? And the positive words, the negative words, and how it's showing up in your body. And then I think the way you led the group to, how is this showing up in the body, in the thoughts of the people that you serve? And I saw the group go, because they were now processing, oh, wait a minute, if this affects me this way, and I'm okay,
Right.
I'm the helper, my client?
Yes.
Then that's the way my
Yes.
client, then what's the difference between my client and me? And I actually saw the body just kind of go, yeah.
Kendall?
Yeah, I like. First of all, you like read my mind. So, but for me, it's just like, oh man, not me. So for me, it was just like, my aha moment was just like, it was so many different strategies, and it's a lot that I still have to think about, like, you know what I'm saying, about myself personally, but it's just that every different way I feel was just like, it just felt like another piece of the puzzle, and it's just like, I really want to come back, but after some time of like thinking to myself about what I've learned, you know? Yeah, it's like, there's a lot to process, and I know it's all about the same thing that's going on inside of my mind. It's like all one problem, but I just feel like if you try to solve a problem in one way, you might introduce new problems, but if you have like a holistic kind of approach where you're just like slowly trying to figure out what the problem is from a lot of different perspectives, which is how I feel we're doing here, it's like, not only are you more relaxed and not stressing yourself out trying to solve your problem, but you're just gonna solve it better because you're not trying to solve it one way.
Yeah.
So,
You're not locked into one approach. You're not locked into seeing it in a unidimensional way.
yeah.
Because problems are not unidimensional.
Yeah.
They impact all the different ecosystems, right? Like we talked about the dice game, the eco dice game. It is every piece of that is you, right? And it has some type of influence on you. So yeah, awesome. So what could we do? What could you do with this new knowledge? What could we do? Each of us in our different settings. How would you then translate this experience, this immersion experience of the RUMERTIME process? How could you use it in different settings? Yes.
I feel like usually when I try to help my friends, I give them a one-dimensional solution. To be honest, like I'll just be like, if you feel like these people at your school are bullying you, just stop caring about it. Just focus on your work. But it's like, that might have worked for me when I was in college or high school. You know, like I produce music, so I have a lot of friends who are younger than me who want to be rappers and stuff like that. And they're still in high school or college. And so one of them, he's just more emotional than I am. You know, like when I was in high school, I just didn't have any friends and I just didn't care, you know. I just don't care. I have my real friends at church. I don't care about these people at school, you know. That's just how I would feel about it. But he doesn't go to church and he doesn't have any friends at school and he's more emotional. So my way of solving the problem isn't gonna work for him. You know?
Right.
So now you, with this new knowledge and this new experience, you are gonna be able to help him using multiple ways, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and I just want to make sure from now on that I'm not trying to tell him like,
Just move on.
yeah, just move on. Like I just need to tell him something else besides
Right.
that, you know, for starters.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good. It's like it helps you narrow into the problem, you know, and provide a more accurate solution. You know, so for example, like when I work with the NGO, when I work with inmates, you know, in the prison and also outside, sometimes you run out of things to empower and to help someone, you know. But when you zone in and you put like a mirror in front of them and you start to generate certain questions and reflection, they now consider their actions, which will affect them, but in turn affect those around them, you know, which will encourage the environment that they're in, even some of their family or the kids, like, okay, dad is changing, all right, mom is changing, something is different, something is happening, you know, so it has positive implications, you know, so when we raise questions about who am I, what am I feeling, which part of my body, I mean, who really goes so deep, you know, so to get you to sit and think, okay, when I feel negatively it's because of I cry, or I feel it on my left side, or I feel it here, and I now behave this way. You know, you really show them that life and the actions that you do, it's holistic. It's like a puzzle. It's interconnected. So you can't do one thing and affect this person and think that's okay.
Exactly.
When you do that, it has a trickle effect down to everyone else. You know,
And that's what systems approaches, right?
Yeah.
It's about when one part of a system is impacted or changes, the entire system responds to that and it changes. And so what is the change you want to see happen?
Good.
You know, and so you have to consider that. And then how does that begin?
Right.
It's by the thoughts.
Right.
And then the interactions, the mindsets and the emotions. And so you have to see, it's almost like you have to change the way you view human nature. You have to change the way you view relationships.
Right.
Because when you change that, then you start behaving differently, you start thinking differently, right? And you start responding differently to that. So
So you no longer treat the symptom,
you treat the
you
cause.
treat the cause.
The
And when you
root.
treat the cause, the symptoms may not
Get rid
ever
of it.
show up
That's
again.
right.
Like
That's
my
right.
friend who's a herbalist, Veronica, you know, you go down to the cause. So when you get to root now, I mean, come on, where are the bugs, where are the insects? No need for pesticides, no need to treat it because it's not there.
Yeah. So you go to the root, focus on the root, and the fruit will take care of itself.
Yeah,
This is what I tell people. Cultivating seeds.
Cultivating
That's one of the principles, right? That's one of the principles. Anything else? Anybody else wants to share?
Well, I was thinking of when Lakeisha was talking in
Speak
terms of we haven't said the word, that taboo word. We haven't said that mental health.
Yes.
And you were able to say all of this, all these strategies, without them thinking, this is our mental health we're talking about. That is okay to bring out our inward feelings and not think of it as taboo anymore.
And that is one of the principles, one of the foundational premises on which the GC School and Cultivating Seed System is built. One of our goals is to make sure that we destigmatize and demystify mental wellness. And one of the ways we do that is by changing the language. Right? Changing the language. Again, that whole changing, reconceptualizing how we look at mental wellness. And it has to start with the language, because that's what's common. We all have the language. And we know that across the globe, and I was saying to Kendall the other night, and it's on the website, for every 1 million people globally, there's less than one mental health practitioner.
Wow. That's deep.
And a big component of that is because of the language. What we use, the words we use, right, become a barrier to people going to seek help.
Yes.
you know. So we,
Your
it's
core
very
interest.
intentional. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very intentional. Developing the cultivating seed system using an agricultural metaphor is absolutely intentional because the agricultural metaphor is universal. Agriculture is universal,
Right.
and there's no stigma attached to it.
Yeah. This is so very. This is like. No, I mean it's so serious. The way you have put this together, the way you guys have done this, to take away that stigmatism being of this mental thing, because I hear people say all the time, especially men, because they don't want to go and see a therapist. Women, we may go see a therapist more so than a man. But men, I hear a lot of men, yeah, I got mental issues. Yeah, you know, I got some, I go in and out or whatever. And they don't want to deal with it. But if they have these strategies,
Yes, yeah.
this stuff will be worked out, and then they won't have the title of feeling the stigma of I have a mental issue, I have a mental problem, and then they will work through these things to correct some of the issues that they have been going through from the root, from a childhood.
Exactly.
And a lot of them don't get to get that. So since I done came and have these strategies and given information, I can now take this back to the community that I'm working with, and even some friends, to take away that stigma of I have a mental problem or I get mood swings and stuff. Why is this happening? Like we say things like that, why is this happening? But let's go a little deeper. Now we can go deeper without having a tag on it. And then people feel more open to talk about it.
Absolutely.
So the strategies are so awesome. So I'm definitely going to be taking it back to my community and to the group of people that I'm going to be speaking to going forward.
Awesome, awesome. And that's our number one goal, right? Our number one goal is to increase access.
Yes.
And that is what this is all about. You know, this is why I pour myself into this, because it is just unconscionable that people are literally dying because of a stigma. And because of lack of access to strategies to help you problem solve life tasks. That is just, it's unconscionable.
It is.
It's unconscionable. Anything else anybody has to say before?
Yeah, I think might have been about a month ago or so, we've been talking about mental awareness, mental health, right? And there is some time in the calendar for that, and I'm saying how we go forward collectively or individually. There is this time, Trinidad and Tobago, and I think worldwide where we're talking about.
Right.
So I think that this program would be relevant, necessary at that time, so we can spread the word, reintroduce the new language, you know, to talk about our mental awareness, you know, as opposed to madness, because that we tend to come that, you know, and so that people can be given the opportunity to be part of this and to do their self-reflection, to go in deep, you know, think about their story and where their story originated and how this story can be transformed for the future. So I think one of the real things that can be done is to reach out some more, Catherine and so on, so that when that time is coming around, this is happening. And that, so before that you would have targeted everybody. Target the universities, target it, and more of the people that you would have the ministries and so on. Right, and especially the ministry that deals with that whole idea of mental awareness and so on. So that they have something that's structured, something that has been tested. That is also the thing. And you have people who are
that's why we do these conversations,
and they can, you know, they can say, well, yes, you know, I know there's something that maybe we can think of. Because sometimes people need to be nudged
Yes.
to do things for themselves,
Mhm.
nudged
Yeah.
to go that way. It's not easy to move from where you are, where you think you're comfortable.
Yeah.
So it is about moving, being comfortable with discomfort.
Yes.
You know, so all of those things you need to look at. And like I said, in my situation where I'm connected with these two institutions, I would and organizations as well, I would share with them, and I think it's a good idea. We should really think about that and how it can be done and so on, because that really we have people of all ages
Yeah.
who really, I mean, sometimes you wonder, how can I reach this person? What it is, you're always late, you're always this, what it is, and you're bubbling up with a kind of anxiety, a kind of frustration, a little anger, a little resentment, all of the above, all of them bubbling up as you're trying to deal with this thing. But having been exposed to this, pain, maybe you could try this, so you could really attempt to get to the root of it.
Yeah. So it's like, why are you coming late? But it's like, why are you really coming late?
Yes.
Right.
And I have an
What's really going
idea.
on?
I have an idea why
really
it
going
might
on.
be, So it gives us more opportunities to be empathetic,
Yes.
right, and caring and so on. And we're talking about what is happening in Trinidad and Tobago, and there's this really cry for restoration of Trinidad and Tobago. In so many, the churches are doing it one way, and we have other people doing it. And I think this could be our way to, regardless of whatever denomination we belong to, as people, as professionals and other people, getting this whole thing going, so we can have people being urged to look in and comfortably coming out.
Yeah.
Because that is that comfortably coming out is as necessary as going in.
Yes.
Yes,
So
it is.
really I think there's a lot of scope for this, and really I continue wishing you and you, the Trinidad Arm of it, and you the whole team really all success, And it's interesting, I'll tell you something today. This week, Sunday going in the Catholic Church, we talked about Gaudete Sunday, and the color was that. That was the color. In the midst of the Advent, that was the color, that rose pink. That was the color for joy, So it's surprising that you have that, and you would have brought, in the midst of all of it, you brought joy. You brought joy. So yes.
That color brings calmness.
Yes,
Oh,
right,
okay.
yes. So
Good.
I made that connection because of
Yes.
the church and all of that, and yes, and it's really just I like green, and I just that you have that color. So I'm just really thankful for
Yeah,
this
we are so
and
grateful.
continued success
Yeah.
for you as you go. Yeah.
But GC scored.
Thank you.
Yes, you have scored. You have scored.
We have scored.
GC scored. Has scored.
Yes, lovely.
We'll thank the humans but we also want to thank God
Yes, oh, yes.
for all that He's done, and I am very mindful that none of this is possible without Him.
Yeah.
And there's something I do. I pray about whoever is going to be in the audience.
Yes.
I pray that whatever I speak, whatever I prepare, that somebody, everybody, every piece, every person gets their needs met, and their minds are renewed, their lives are transformed, and they're able to go out and help create safer communities.
Yes.
And I think we have done what we've been commissioned to do.
To do, yes.
And I give thanks.
Yes,
I give
yes.
thanks. So this was there you
With
go.
a great
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Holy
All right.
If I
And then just breaking out this.
Jesus.